Hello, hello! Blaster Toad back again, and we're going to be continuing on the Spline-based platformer. Okay, so this time I said we would do a animation blueprint. So let's get that done. Firstly though, I am going to clean up my mesh folder a wee bit. Can I scale those down? I can scale those down. That was Control and mouse wheel. I'm gonna make a new folder for animations. Grab all my animations. Okay. And then I am going to do a new folder for materials. Grab all the materials here. Move there. I'm gonna put this all within a new nuts folder. That way, as we add more meshes here, it's not getting all sloppy. With everything moved into my nuts folder, I am going to right click and fix up redirectors. Perfect. Okay, so right clicking on our, oh, and I got a static pose. I want to put that in animations as well. Move here. So right clicking on our skeletal nuts, I'm going to create an animation blueprint. I'm going to call this anim BP underscore BP, not PB, underscore nuts. I'm gonna move that to my animations. We got anim BP nuts. I am also going to under here, right click, animation, and gonna make a new blend space. Blend space 1D. I think we can get away with a blend space 1D for this. So we're going to do a new blend space on skeletal nuts. And this is going to be my BS for blend space. Underscore. What are we going to call this? Walk. And there we go. Now let's open that up. So this is 0 position. This is 100 position. Awesome. I'm going to take the do static pose, put that over here, and we see he's snapped to the static pose now. We're going to move our cursor down there. Then we're going to want the nuts walk, about halfway, and the nuts run right down here at the end. Then as we drag against them, we get itsy bitsy tiny cutesy steps to the full walk animation, converting into the run animation. Those itsy bitsy cutesy steps though. Love them. Okay. So that is our blend space. Sorry, just gonna do a quick fiddly doop with Open Broadcaster here, just so I can see what's happening there, make sure it's all looking fine. Okay, so now we are going to go to, so we've got that, we have our blend space, idles. I don't know how I want to do the idles yet, so we're just going to get the basic movement set up here. So, on our anim BP, we're going to go to event graph. I'm going to try get owner pawn, and we are going to cast to character. We are going to promote that character to a new character. Actually, no, we don't want just a generic character. We want our player character. So, character underscore player. And then promote to variable player. And we'll get rid of that character thing right there. Then we're gonna pull player off here. Get player is valid. Straighten that off. If it is valid, we're gonna do some stuff. If it is not valid, we're gonna check again if it is valid, or if we can make it valid. And there we go. So we're gonna need a couple things here. So we're gonna need to, from our player, and that's holding control when I drag out to get a get pin like that. We're going to get the movement component, so get character movement. Get max walk speed. Then off player, we're going to get velocity. And do length, vector length. And we're going to divide vector length by max walk speed. And then we're going to multiply by 100. Because if we go back to our blend space, we see it is on a scale of 0 to 100. So that's what we're going to be inputting. Okay. Bring that on down. Straighten those bits. Oh, you can go back there. Straighten those bits off. And make this all nice and pretty. Just like that. And with this here, we are going to promote to variable. And this will be our speed. Perfect. Straighten. Okay. Compile, save. Now let's go to our anim graph. Got our output pose here. We're going to be putting a state machine into it. Add new state machine. Plugging that right in there. And we are going to add a state. We're going to have walk/run. We are going to add a state and have jump, and add a state and have falling. Okay, and the only one we're going to go into right now is walk/run. I'm going to double click that. And off here, we're going to do BS and blend space player BS walk. Plug that right there. Go down to our variables, get our speed. Plug that right in there. Compile and save. Now, if we go to our character, and we select our mesh, and under animation class, we're going to choose our BP nuts. Compile and save. Now, Nuts is just standing there, but then he'll start walking. And we're getting a bit of slide on his feet, as you can see there, or as you may not be able to see. He's sliding along. So I think we need to make him a little bit faster. If we go back to our animation blueprint, and on our blend space, we can give it a play rate. I'm going to try 1.5 and see how that looks. File, save, go back to our player and play. That looks like minimal sliding, if any, right there. I think that's just about perfect. And if we do little steps, he takes little bits of steps. Oh, look at our cutesy little robot. The problem is, if we jump, he is still just running. Ooh. Whoop. Okay. So, now, on our character, since we're already here, we're going to add a new variable, and we're going to call this jumping. And we're going to set jumping whenever we jump true.
The number you have dialed cannot be reached, and that's okay.
Okay, so this is coming off of our wall jumps launch character, and our double jump, we are setting it here as well. And we'll just quickly comment these. Flag jumping for anim BP, just so we know exactly what this bit is doing. And I'm going to copy that and paste that and do the same thing right here. Perfect. Compile and save. So now, oh, and I need to set that to true. Compile, save. And if we go back to our anim BP, we can, on our player, we're gonna get our player again just to keep this nice and clean. You're going to get jumping. Straighten that off. And we are going to promote that to variable jumping. Yeah, straighten that. And we'll straighten that back as well. And we're just going to use a couple comments here. Gonna move all this down a tad. So this section, we're going to validate or get ref to player character. On this section, we are going to comment calculate speed percentage from velocity.
The number you have dialed cannot be reached, and that's okay.
Then we are going to do this one, and we're going to comment, and we're going to say get jumping state. And then we're going to one more get player is falling. And that's going to get our character movement, get our is falling node, straighten that off for the sake of space. We're going to drag those on top of each other. And we're going to promote to variable falling. Can I not call it falling? Falling is already in use. Okay, we're going to call that is falling. I'm gonna plug that in, straighten, move that back, and then grab comment is character falling. Okay, compile and save. Perfect. So now we're gonna go back to our graph here. We're gonna press our little back button to get back here. So falling, we're gonna move over here, and we're going to have it pull from falling into walk, and you'll see there's an arrow there because this. Can I get that to stop saying things? Apparently not. We're not still playing in the background, are we? No? Okay. This here, it is directional, so it'll come out of the falling state into walk, but it will never go from walk to falling, so you have to be careful which way you drag these lines, as they are directional, as you can see. We're just gonna delete that one going that way. And then we're gonna tell it what rule to follow. So, it will go from falling to walking if is falling is not true. I'm gonna straighten all those and then go back, and then we're gonna go from walk to jump, and we're gonna double click that conduit. If jumping is true, we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna go, well, we're gonna pull our jump up here. Gonna go jump to falling. If is falling is true, but jumping is not true. So we're gonna use an and. Okay, we're gonna go back a step, and then we're gonna go from falling to jumping if jumping is true. So this way, when we're in the air, but we do a wall jump, we'll play the jumping animation again. That's the idea there. So for falling, we'll get to falling, and in here, we just want to do an animation. And we're going to choose Nuts Land. We compile and save. And if doing that's not going to do anything because it's not here. Then for jump, if I am remembering correctly, we need a montage. Let's just double check. So I'm gonna go to my jump animation. I do not need a montage. Okay. So I'm going to, on here, right at the end, we're gonna add a notify. It's gonna be a new notify. The notify name is going to be jump end. It's gonna happen right at the end. Right at the end of the animation. Why? Why won't you let me? Do I have to like notify begin time? We want like right at the very end, so I do have to put this like 1. Yes, okay. See. So now in here, if I do a notify event anim notify jump end, we now have that. So when jump ends, we're gonna get our player and set jumping defaults. So I'm just going to quickly go over that again. So if we go to our animation, right clicked, add a new notify, and gave it a name. That then makes an event that on the anim blueprint, we can get that event and trigger something off of it. Now if we go back to our state machine, we go into jump, we want to do our animation jump. So now when we press the jump key, I'm just going to straighten this here. When we press the jump key, we should go from walking, and jumping's true to do the jumping animation. When the jumping animation is done, and we are falling, we go to the falling loop. But if we go jumping again, we go back to jump. And when the jump's done and we're falling, we go back to falling. And if we are no longer falling, we go back to walk and run. So let's compile, save, and we'll minimize. I'm going to do a quick play. So, we've got walking. And we've got the jump animation. Ooh. My jump animation is too long though. So I'm going to need to shorten my jump animation. But we do have the jump animation and we do have the falling loop. So if I go here, we'll get a bunch of jumping animations and we'll get the falling loop. And there's our falling loop. There we go. Jump, fall. Jump, fall. So the jumping we need to speed up. I could go into Blender and redo my animation, but what I'm going to do instead is go to our anim blueprint, go into jump, and this here, we are going to change its play rate to 3 times faster. Let's see how that looks. So with jumping 3 times faster now, it does end faster, and it makes it look like he's doing something. So this is technically correct. It just looks ugly because my animation sucks. So I'm gonna put that to 2 so it doesn't quite be so janky. And we jump and then go to falling, jump and then blend to falling. Okay. So again, technically correct, but I should have it blend into the falling animation and I should have the jump happen faster. Okay. Or I should set jumping, have a anim notify, because I could at here have the notify to actually start jumping instead of ending. Right? And then run this here off that event. And then that way he would only actually jump, but then you're giving input delay to the character and or to the player, and yes, they can learn around that and that could be part of your game. But I want a really tight platformer, so I'm not going to do it that way. So that is our very basic animation blueprint. Woo! They're going to come around the edge again. Now we're going to jump, 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 jump. Okay, I think I'm going to set that jump back to a higher... Okay, so I'm still in jump state. I'm going to set that to like a 2.5, just because the wall jumping is really, really bad. And start position, we could actually set the start position at, say, like 0.3. So it is partway through the animation to begin with. And that might make it look better at a 2x play speed. Yeah, I think that actually, that makes it look much better. Okay, let's go to our wall jump. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, so a bit of tweaking with that. The idle animations, we want to do that? Sure, let's play with something for the idle animations. So we're gonna go back to our animation BP, and we are going to, before all this, have an add a state, and we're gonna call this one idle. An entry will come into idle, and then idle will go into walk, and we're gonna grab all these and move them down. Ooh. Grab all these, move them down. So idle will go into walk, and then we're gonna move these further out so we get a better view. And idle will go to walk if speed is less than or equal to 0.01. Or better yet, nearly equal 0 with a tolerance of 0.01. So no, sorry, this is idle to walk. We don't want nearly equal. We want greater than 0.01. But we'll come back from walk to idle. And doing that, we'll take speed if that's nearly equal at a tolerance of 0.01. So nearly equal, 0.01, go back into idle state. Okay. Compile, save. Can I do a random sequence player? Sure. Awesome. In our random sequence, we're gonna have 1, 2, and 3. And our first random sequence will be nuts idle. Our second random sequence will be idle hand. Our third random sequence will be idle head. And what does shuffle mode do? Shuffle mode is active. It'll never loop a sequence beyond max loop count. Okay, without visiting each sequence in turn, so it won't repeat. Cool, we'll do that. And minimum loop count 0, max loop count 0. Idle head movement, max loop count will have 2 times. The idle hand, 2 times. The idle foot, 4 times because he just does a shuffle of a foot. Now if we compile, save, we can see our guy doing little idle animations here. So he's looking at his hand. He keeps looking at his hand. And now he's gonna look around. Okay, so we're gonna put that to 0, 0, and 0. We're not gonna have shuffle mode on because we don't care if it goes back to back. And we are going to put in one more array item, and this will be our static pose. So there may be a chance of him just sitting there for a moment. So now we've got little character looking around, doing different things. Look at him, just, you know, doing things. But then, as soon as we start moving, and when we stop moving, he goes back to being idle. So what we may want is a delay. Let's go back to our anim blueprint. And we are going to do a thing here. What are we gonna do? We are going to, off of our speed, no, forget that, not off our speed, off the end of this. We're gonna go off the end, and I'm gonna give me some more space to work here. Okay. So we are going to get speed. Speed is nearly equal float 0.01. If this is false, oh. Now we want branch. If this is false, then we want to do. What do we want to do? We want to do a gate here. So on true, we want to do a do once. We want to do a delay. No, we want to do a timer. To... Is it just new timer? Make timer? No. We've got a bunch of sets and invalidates and clears and all that fun stuff. Can I not just make a timer in an animation? It looks like I may not be able to. Well, that's a bit of a pain. Okay. So, if that's false, we are going to have a new variable, called can idle. So if we are not nearly equal, we set can idle to false. And then we do a re-triggerable delay. So this is going to keep going through and keep being reset while this is running. And when that delay finally ends, we will check this. We're going to do another branch. So when that delay ends, if we are now nearly equals 0, then we will set can idle true. And then we're gonna promote this to a variable, idle delay. So the idea is right now he goes directly to idle. We don't want that happening. We're gonna compile and save. We're gonna set this idle to delay to maybe something like 1.5 seconds for tests. Compile and save. Wait. 1.5, and then I have to hit apply. Compile, save. And then over here, we only want to come back to, so if speed is nearly equals 0, so from walk to idle, speed is nearly equals 0, and can idle. So we'll start off with an idling character. Alright, I'm gonna maximize. Our character starts idling, but as soon as we start moving and we stop, he stops, and then 1.5 seconds later, he'll continue. And then we'll move, and he'll stop idling. And then in a moment, he'll start idling again. So there is our basic Anim blueprint. Cool. That will be it for this video. So, thanks again for watching. If you are wanting the project files I am working with, you can join as a Patreon at patreon.com/ToadNet. The tiers start at $1, which gains you access to not only the project files, but you also get a head start on the projects. You get them before they're publicly released on YouTube. So the videos are anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks earlier than they're released on YouTube, just depending on the backlog. Yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode, where we are going to address an issue with splines. Because there is a problem that we're going to run into when we start doing level making. We want to get that out of the way before it becomes a pain in our butts. So we'll see you then, and thank you again for watching. Oh, sorry, one last thing. If you are considering becoming a Patreon instead of looking for ToadNet yourself, there is in the description below a link to Patreon. Yeah. That's that.